How you doing? We got Sticker granddaughter here. You gonna say hi?
Hello, my birthday is tomorrow.
Her birthday is tomorrow. I guess she is 17. Is that right?
Yep.
Paul McCartney wrote a song that has about 17 in there. I think it was called I Saw Her Standing There. How's it going out there? Is it getting any better in California? Are they starting to get the fires under control? What's going on today? I heard from Gregory Theo a couple times today. He said the winds were pretty strong where he lives in Sima Valley.
Daniel votes a shout out from Dan in Florida.
How you doing there, Dan in Florida? The butcher cover you bought from me should be there before long. Louisville mail is a week behind. The main post office, Gardner Lane, is just backed up, completely full of boxes. We'll see if we packages. We'll see if we start getting some of them here in the next day or two.
They had trucks backed up again today.
Yeah, they're a week behind, but it's not all their fault. A lot of people didn't have their sidewalks cleared off or around their mailboxes, and the mail just could not get delivered last week.
Gordon Teet said 2025 is a great time to be alive. Heaven, Father, I speak rain on California now in Jesus' name.
And what California?
Rain for California.
Oh, the rain's coming Friday, I think. That's what they're praying for.
Vinyl Pipers hide their winds died down today.
All right.
Dave Evans said good evening, Sticker family.
How you doing, Dave Evans?
Thomas Crook said hello, Sticker family.
Thomas Crook. All right, that short I did the other day, this is the only item I haven't sold from it. I sold the Ram UK to John Hood from locally. He's going to get this on Friday. 1U, first press of Ram. Never heard too many people and smile away in quite such fidelity as this Ram first pressing.
Greg Fio said wind subsiding, woohoo, live the third straight state stereo. Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, he got that. He got the third state and stereo, and he got the Butcher, and he got the Beatles from Liverpool box set. That was a Columbia box set, but it had the use from the same Harry T. Moss plates that they pressed in England in 1981, and he's enjoying that quite a bit.
Vinyl Piper said any Bob Dylan today.
Yeah, I missed Bob Dylan the other day. We'll show a little bit of Bob Dylan. I got a lot behind me.
Nicole said good evening, Frank and Sticker.
How you doing, Nicole? So this is the only item I didn't sell from the short I did the other day when I had things for sale, the oak box set and the that went to Javier from Puerto Rico. He bought that, and he bought that Butcher cover that was made from the original negative for $150, and the oak box set from 1988 went out. Was only available at HMV record stores in England. That went out for $800. So this is still $400. You just don't get white albums, top loaders from the United Kingdom in this kind of condition. After 68, that would have been 55 years ago. It's a stereo. So number 459949. Do you know the stereo numbers didn't start till close to 300,000. First 260,000 were on mono. It's real nice. Excellent condition records. Got the large photos. It has a photo protector. Somebody mentioned that you could just make a fake photo protector, but not with paper that's 56 years old. I know it's 56 years old because that's when I started in the grocery business, when I was 14. It's got the poster. It's got the original black die-cut inner sleeves. And it's got the all tube cut, -1, first press of stereo of the White Album. I always said that Beatles for Sale is my favorite Beatles album, but the more and more I listen to the Beatles White Album, I think that the Beatles White Album's got to be my favorite. So much variety on the White Album. So this is a $400 ship. If anybody's interested in it, show me the Sticker Mania.
The other one?
This Mr_Stickermania@yahoo.com. $400 priority ship. This is only the third time I've had a UK top loader in this kind of condition. See, it's got flips on the side. There's no, even the spine, you can read the Beatles, and it's got a stereo number and a mono number on the spine.
Greg Fio said White Album rocks.
Right, you're right, Gregory Fio. The White Album's got to be the best double album ever released in rock and roll history. All right, they're asking about Bob Dylan. I had a Bob Dylan box set.
Right here.
Yeah, let me see that too. So Dave Frazier bought 3 import items the other day. You get these on Friday. You got the Venezuela collection of Beatle oldies with that stereo sticker on the top I've never seen. It's got that strange orange Parlophone label. Venezuela. Some of these countries got the original cutting the plates from England, and some of them really sound good. He bought the Dave Clark 525 Thumpin' Great Hits, all in true stereo from 1971 from the United Kingdom. And he bought the Bob Dylan Greatest Hits from Holland. Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits from Holland. Blowing in the wind and Ain't Me Babe, the times are changing, Mr. Tambourine Man, she belongs to me, it's all over now, Baby Blue. Subterranean, Homesick Blues, One of Us Must Know, Like a Rolling Stone, Just Like a Woman, Rainy Day Woman, and I Want You. Got the original inner sleeve from Columbia import, and it was on CBS orange label. That's the way the UK and Holland presses were. So those are going out to Dave Frazier, my local buyer. And I also have this import from England, more Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. This is just a single LP, where I think in the United States it was 2 LPs. I don't think that's a picture from the concert from Bangladesh, but I could be wrong. It says produced, some of the tracks were produced by Leon Russell. It's got Lay Lady Lay, a few songs are different than the other one. Don't Think Twice, It's Alright. Stuck Inside a Mobile with the Memphis Blues again, Maggie's Farm, My Back Pages, The Mighty Quinn, The Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. This one does not have Like a Rolling Stone. Other Bob Dylan's, I showed this is a later 60 press 2i. And Bob Dylan's first album. And I said if he had a first press mono 6i, it'd be worth a lot of money because Bob Dylan only sold about 1,000 of his first album.
Greg Fio said, you say it's your birthday, you're going to have a good time. More goodies on the way, Frank.
All right. Say it's your birthday. We're gonna have a good time. Bob Dylan's Great Blonde on Blonde. This is the second press. It doesn't have Claudia in the inside. I think that Mazzy has one that has Claudia inside. I've had it a couple times. Oh, I know somebody locally's got it. Who's our local guy that did the video that helped me out?
Bob
Bradley. Bob Bradley. Bob Bradley's got a mono first press with Claudia in the middle. He also has a Ram UK first pressing from Paul McCartney. This is Bob Dylan in the Shrink Nashville Skyline, but it's a 70s pressing. No, this is an original pressing, 2i. 2i. When they stopped making Columbia 2i's, probably in about 69. That's the original inner sleeve from Columbia. Got John Wesley Harding. It was $3.99 to begin with. It's in the Shrink. No UPC, so it's got to be from the 70s. Got Blood on the Tracks. Got Empire Burlesque. Desire. In the box set, it came out in '85, a biograph. It's got 1, 2, 3, side 10. It's got 5 albums in it. One of the first box sets to be released. Multiple box sets like that. That's my Bob Dylan moment. Any questions on Bob Dylan? Some notes. A Led Zeppelin 2 test pressing that was owned by Robert Ludwig, Heritage Auctions. Auctioned it off about a week ago. And Mike from the In Groove was bidding on it. It was sitting at $3,000, was about 5 minutes ago. And he thought he'd get it for $19,000. In the last 10 seconds, it zoomed up to $35,000 for a Led Zeppelin 2 test pressing from Robert Ludwig. What do you think about that? That's pretty amazing. I got a RL Monarch pressing record coming once the mail breaks loose that I'm going to sell with this cover with the hype sticker for Whole Lotta Love. It's in excellent condition. It's almost impossible to find Led Zeppelin 2 RLs with a Monarch pressing in excellent condition.
Vinyl Piper said, how much do 6i First Dylan LPs go for?
How much is what?
6i First Dylan LPs.
I would say it'd have to be, I know that Mike from the In Groove has one. They have to be worth close to $1,000.
Greg Fields said eBay UK Nimbus Pepper said he had 5K. Holy crap.
Not 5K, Gregory Fields. That's pounds. Translate that to English. Translate that to dollars. It's $6,200. 2 days ago.
Daniel Castillo said it's mint condition, so the price is not bad.
Well, mine's mint condition too. It had a couple marks on the one in England. This has no marks on it at all.
And then
I offered this out to Mike from the In Groove for $6,000, but I haven't heard from him yet. I know this was him and PB Thal. This is our number one of their holy grails to get a hold of.
Daniel Vogel says saw Dylan in 1988 at the University of Florida.
All right, we're going to touch this thing one more time.
He was talking about the Ludwig is in mint condition, what Daniel was talking about.
It went for $35,000.
And he was just talking
But the Nimbus Supercut that's it's on eBay, United Kingdom, is sitting at $6,200 with 2 days to go.
Yeah.
And mine's in better shape than the one that they have. So that's what he was talking about, the Led Zeppelin 2.
Yeah.
Mine's is flawless. No spindle hole wear, no marks. You won't find one better condition than that. All right, gotta put that away one more time. One of the holy grails of Beatles collecting, 1984 Sgt. Pepper Nimbus Supercut. Was cut on an all-tube valve system using the best vinyl possible at that time. Only 1,000 of them were pressed.
Daniel Castillo said the Ludwig is in mint condition.
No.
Greg Fio says 6,200 and the last second snipers are waiting to pounce. It's a clean machine, Frank. Very tempting.
Huh. Well, I got one right now. I already got mine. All right. Other notes. I can't find my Bowie Pinups album right now from Holland, but somebody mentioned to me, who was it? I think it was Bill from Canada mentioned that's Twiggy on the cover, so I'll show that on Saturday. Talked about the Sgt. Pepper. Dean, he buys a lot of my Beatles memorabilia. He's got my record. He's gonna buy my record player. Where's my record player at? Right here.
Daniel had a question, Bo. We'll do that real quick. About the Nimbus.
Daniel Vogel said, what did the Nimbus cost in 1984?
Cost $50 in USA money, 30 some pounds. Only 1,000 were pressed.
Dom233 said, did you see that sealed stereo butcher on eBay for $30,000?
There must be one for sale right now, is what you're saying. The most expensive butcher that sold was a First State that Perry Cox sold for $14,000 a couple weeks ago, but I haven't seen the sealed. Is it a Second State stereo?
I don't know.
Or first? It must be a Second
If
State.
he answers, I'll let you know. Jerry Marshalls said, thanks, Frank, for taking such good care of me. Jerry, Charlotte, in North Carolina.
That was one of the things we sent out.
What did we send out?
I don't know.
Gary?
Jerry.
Jerry
Jerry.
from North Carolina.
North Carolina, where they have all that problems.
Ron.
All right, well, I got to show this and then you can go back to messages. So Dean is buying this Beatles record player from 1964 for $6,000. I've already been paid most of it. And I have a strip I won in the auction. They had some leftover textured strips that eBay had the other day. And it cost me $900 to win the auction. So we're gonna replace this with a brand new textured strip, so the record player will look a lot better when we get that on there. This is a reproduction box. Original of this would be, if you had it in good shape, somebody would be close to $4,000 or $5,000. Somebody found one in the attic that was used for storage and was real rough, and it sold for $1,500. And I got the original instruction sheet. It's got to be pretty valuable that Dean's getting with it. 4-speed, Beatles 4-speed phonograph, model 1000. And it's got the instructions, how to use it, and it's got the 4 Beatle autographs there on the back. So Dean reaching out to me, he's got one of those 1988, 1998 Yellow Submarine Schwinn bicycles that they only made 60 of them. And you had to win them in a contest, or a Schwinn executive was the only way that those 60 were obtained. And he has one for sale for $4,000. So reach out to me and I'll get you a hold of Dean with my Mr._Stickermania@yahoo.com. I already reached out to Mikey Arugula, but Mikey Arugula already has the original Huffy from 1968. But he said that it's worth $4,000 because there's only 60 in the world. All right, let's put the record player away if we don't make questions on that.
So that one that popped up the First State.
It's a First State?
I guess it's 38,501 is what Dom's saying.
A First State seal?
That's what it's saying in grade.
That's hard to believe. It'd be worth more than that. The last first state that was auctioned off from Heritage Auctions, that was part of the Livingston butchers that was in Allen Livingston's closet, for 20 some years, went for $112,000 about in February.
Jerry said he got the Beatles magazine and the Beatles arcade cards. Fantastic.
All right. Yeah, we sent the arcade cards out today. The magazines, we sent some magazines out too.
Yeah, that's what he said he got.
All right, they got this from Gregory Fio. I appreciate that. Mikey Arugula's got one of these. Me and Mikey Arugula is going to do another Beatles Roundtable interview live stream on Rachel's Ghost channel on January 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is identical from 1964 vintage as the Beatles. You can see John Lennon with this Pan Am bag when they're getting off the plane when they came to America. So thanks a lot, Gregory Fio. Any messages before I start going on here?
It just says Dom said it didn't sell the last time. It's the second time the seller reposted it.
Sounds kind of fishy to me. I'll have to look at it and see if it's a real deal. There's a lot of scams that go on YouTube. I mean, on eBay.
Greg's saying happy birthday, Frank, but your birthday was the
Birthday was January 1st. I'm 71.
Your birthday tomorrow.
She's going to be 17 tomorrow, my granddaughter, and I'm 71. That's a big age difference.
A little.
So I was at the grocery store today, and our music system, I have it on Pop, what is it called? Pop Hits. And they actually played Pink Pony Club by Chappell Roan today. So I was pretty excited that the music system's finally playing Pink Pony Club. They realized that song is a banger. Now and then they have had a Grammy kit because it's up for the Grammys here in February. And somebody from LA had one of those extra Grammy kits that looks like the cassette that John Lennon had. And it went for $680 on eBay today. And I would have bid on it if I thought it was a 10-inch record that was inside it. But he said he was wrong. It was only a 7-inch record. So I didn't think that the kit was pretty small. I didn't think it was worth me pursuing. I know the Rolling Stones had a lot of those box sets, promos that came out when Hackney Diamonds was released. But now LA seems to always get these things because that's where they're out there with the Grammys and stuff. Remember when I had those big billboards for Now and Then? I sold about 4 of them. Weren't they like 6 feet long or something?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Timothy Chalamet is going to be on Saturday Night Live in about a week and a half. He's going to be the host and the performer, the music performer. So he's doing double duty like Charlie X did. So I'm sure that Timothy's going to do some Bob Dylan songs live on Saturday Night Live in like less than 2 weeks. So that's something to look forward to. Ringo's Look Up album was released January 10th. I haven't heard it all the way through. I know Mean Mr. Mayos gives it a 10 out of 10. I'll have to get a hold of at least the CD of the Ringo Look Up album so I can play it in my car. February 2nd, I think, is when the Grammys are going to be out in LA, and Chappell Roan's up for 4 awards. And February 7th, at the IMAX here in Louisville is what's going to be February 7th?
Complete unknown.
Becoming Led Zeppelin.
I read that off of a comment and they were wrong.
Yeah, read what Daniel said.
Daniel said the Complete Unknown soundtrack comes out in February.
That's something to look forward to because that's going to be like the music was performed in the movie.
Greg and Nicole wish me happy birthday, so thank you.
All right.
And Greg said for you to celebrate all month for Papa.
Yeah, celebrate all month, he said.
Huh. Butcher cover second. I was kind of heavy on butcher covers. What was the last week when I showed about 9 of them?
Mm-hmm.
And I sold 6 of them in the last 2 weeks. But I got 3 more coming in.
Read the Gregory comment.
Gregory Field said, Frank, any room in New York at Beatle Fest with you and Arugula?
Are you going, Gregory, to New Jersey? We're in the second hotel. The first hotel is already booked up. We got rooms for 2 nights or what?
Yeah, I guess it's 2 nights. Right
2
now.
nights, and Mikey Arugula is at the same hotel we are. So we'll probably be hanging out together. So if you're there at the Fest for Beatle fans in March 18th to 20th, I think it is. March 28th to 30th. I had that wrong.
The end of the month.
The end of the month. Come up and say hi to me and Mikey Arugula and hang out with us a little bit.
Read the Dave Evans.
Dave Evans said, Frank, the LZRLSS Monarch copy you sold me a while back is a phenomenal copy. People say to me it's the best copy they've ever seen.
All right. So I forget what you paid for it when you got it from me. And was it $1,000, $2,000? Led Zeppelin 2 Monarch pressing. You don't get any better than that because Peter Grant had a office in LA several blocks away from the Monarch pressing factory, and he would go by there every week to check to make sure they were making the best pressings possible of Led Zeppelin albums. Butcher covers, and then I'll take some more questions. We got an East Coast that I'm going to put up for sale, probably about, it's got a few touch-ups there on the side. This will probably be about $900. That's an East Coast. This West Coast is already sold in payments. And it's in pretty much near mint condition. West Coast, number 6. It's got a little bit of aging there, but if you see a butcher cover from 1966 that doesn't have any aging, it's pure white, it's probably a scam. It's probably not real. That's how I knew that David Bianco from Safe and Sound in Texas, when he showed that on Chance's live stream about a month ago, I knew it couldn't be a real. It was too white on the back. Got another. It has a removed trunk slip. Somebody says that Jim Hansen didn't remove these with shipping tape or something, but look at that. It's got a tape-like cover to it, and it all came off in one piece. It looks like shipping tape to me. And I got another West Coast in inventory that's up for sale. It's got some seam splits. It's up on sale, I think, for $1,500 on my Sticker Mania 2853 store. Can you show me that? The pink one. That's my eBay store, Sticker Mania 2853. You know how I became Mr. Sticker Mania? It's a takeoff of Beatlemania and hype stickers. So you combine the two and you get Sticker Mania. Like that hype sticker for a whole lot of love. And I got a couple second states. This is a real nice one I have. I showed it the last one. This is Los Angeles. Number 6, second state in beautiful shape. Nobody peeked through and tore up one of the corners. This is $1,500. If somebody's interested, you can send me an email through my Mr_Stickermania@yahoo.com. Got 4 sharp corners, all the printing on the spines there, and there's no writing on the back. A little bit of aging, like I said. You don't want to buy one that's pure white. 1966. 50. Over 58 years ago. Is that right? Yeah. I hadn't started working in the grocery business when this butcher cover came out. I was only 12 years old. All right, butcher covers putting away. If no questions on that, we got any messages? Any questions for me?
Greg Fio said, pilling a second state stereo West Coast. Wish me luck.
You're pilling a second state West Coast stereo. Yeah, I wish you all the luck in the world.
He said pack and tape method.
He said
Packing tape.
to take the cover off, the trunk slick off, right?
I guess.
Yeah, and then you got to have the right chemicals. Mr. Paul out there, that's Gemini girl. I think he changed his name to T-shirt, but he's trying to become expert on peeling West Coast butcher covers. I spent most of 2024 trying to learn how to peel them, and it's a pretty well impossible in my opinion. I had 10 of them, practice copies that I got from, starter copies that I got from Rockaway Records. I peeled them a lot of East Coast butcher covers that they sold for a lot of money. But the West Coast, there was only one stereo that I did a real good job on. But I think it was a mistake and it had the water-based glue, but it somehow ended up in LA because I was able to steam peel it. And Gary Johnson told me from Rockaway Records, if you have a true West Coast butcher cover with a strong glue, alcohol-based glue, you cannot steam peel them. But I was able to do one of them, so it must have been a mistake.
Dave Evans said my birth year, Frank, 1966.
What is the birthday?
His birth year.
Birth year is 66. You were born when the butcher cover came out. So there was somebody out there, I think it's Bill, was interested in an early program of the Beatles, and he says, is this really spring of 1963 when they were opening group? And he looked it up and said, yep, you're right, Frank. It had Chris Montez and Tommy Rowe were the main artists, and the Beatles were one of the opening acts. And they even have that's not a prototype cover of Please Please Me on the advertising there. That's before they had the complete slick for Please Please Me. Show me the Please Please Me way over there on the right.
Gregory said chemicals like Smirnoff vodka.
All the way to the right. Yeah.
And then Daniel said, let's dance.
Let's Dance. That's David Bowie.
Do you want the butcher cover too?
No. I had a Let's Dance here, but I don't see it now. All right, so this is a Holland pressing. What the Please Please Me ended up with the blue there, with Let Me Do and 12 other songs. And at first, the prototype just says the same thing, but it's just like white lettering. So there's a big difference of the prototype and the actual cover that came out. So this is a very original, when the Beatles were opening group in the spring of '63 in England. And there they are, the Beatles. Can you imagine going to see a concert to see Chris Montez and Tommy Rowe as the headliners, and the Beatles were opening group? I think they had the Beatles perform in both part 1 and part 2 because of the demand. I think they only did 4 songs. So in part 1, they were the last group to come out. And part 2, yeah, they weren't in part 2. So you can imagine after this first section, and there was an intermission, and the Beatles were already done, I bet you half the crowd had left after that. And there are the Beatles on the back of the program. So this is the original program for Bill, if you're interested in it. This is on my eBay store.
Daniel Castillo said, let's dance. Greg Fields said, Chris Montans is a neighbor and dear friend, go way back.
All right.
It was a Chris Montez Let's Dance is what Daniel was talking
Oh,
about.
gotcha.
And then Greg got into talking about Chris Montez.
And then Greg Fields said, chemicals like Smirnoff vodka.
Did that one.
I've used the vodka.
That's fine.
No, I used gin, combination of gin and rubbing alcohol when I tried it, but I could never get a good peel out of it.
Greg Fields said, Chris still tours 6 months a year at Germany, mostly a local hero around these parts.
Who is?
Greg
Chris.
Montez.
Chris Montez.
Chris Montez.
And Daniel Vogel said, gotta say goodnight.
All right. Thanks for checking in there, Dan. I hope your butcher cover gets there safe and sound, but remember the mail is stressed out. They're behind. The United States Postal Service, give them a break. It'll all get sorted out here in the next week, I hope. Led Zeppelin moment. This is a Led Zeppelin House of the Holy, a German pressing with A1, B2 matrices. And it's on my Stickermania 2853 store. For like $700 or $700. How about $70? $77. It's got the. I told you that Led Zeppelin House of the Holy, 1973, and I got still in the original bag. Into the Outdoor, 1979. And this is what I learned from PB Thal. You want to find Led Zeppelin pressings with strawberry in the dead wax. And this has strawberry on both sides, on the matrices. Strawberry. What does that mean? Where were they pressed when it says strawberry? All right, that's my Led Zeppelin moment.
Jeff McCoy said, nice second state butcher. How does the vinyl grid?
The vinyl on the second state is hardly played, very good plus condition.
Great.
On a butcher cover, we're going to talk about this for a second. The value of a butcher cover is 95% for the cover and 5% for the record. Okay.
Greg Fio said, check your mail, Frank. Hint, hint, the neck.
The knack, all right. Well, when the mail breaks loose, I got about 15 things coming in. I'm going to talk about that now. Purchases. This is what I got coming in the next week, I hope. I got a John Lennon 1964 in his own right, first printing hardback book with the hype sticker that says The Writing Beatle. I bought a whole collection of Beatles Unsurpassed CDs, 7 volumes of them, because I want to have all those tracks that everybody talks about that somehow got snuck out of Abbey Road Studios when the complete Beatles recording session book was being written. And that's why the author is having a hard time putting out Tune In Part 2, because he doesn't have permission from Apple Corps to go anywhere near Abbey Road anymore. But I'm going to get all 7 unsurpassed CDs, because some of those tracks sound better than the original Beatles recordings, because there's no compression. They came right out of the vaults. I got butcher covers. I got 2 number 3 mono butcher covers that I'm going to peel. I got a number 2 East Coast stereo butcher cover I'm going to peel. So I got 3 more butcher covers coming in. And And from Gregory Field, I got all 13 Paul McCartney archive box sets coming in that I traded for my stereo East Coast butcher cover. I got a 1963 talcum powder from the United Kingdom, one of the first Beatles memorabilia items ever made. I think it's the second one. I think that little Kellogg's patch was the first item. And I have a German first press sticky fingers from 1971 coming. I know somebody wants that real bad. It could be Dave Evans. I got a sealed 1969 Let It Bleed coming from the United States that has a hype sticker for includes a poster. I got a 1972 Exile Monarch pressing promo coming in that has a hype sticker affixed to the cover. And I have a 1978 Some Girl sealed with the recalled cover that has all the women that didn't want to be on there, and a 1980 sealed Emotional Rescue that has the poster underneath the shrink and has a hype sticker on top of the shrink, real rare Emotional Rescue. Also have a signed 1978 Some Girls by 4 of the Rolling Stones when they were on tour there in the late 1990s. You got Charlie Watts, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Ronnie Wood. And I have a George Harrison 1964 Reveal kit coming in, a model kit. I got the Beatles wig 1964 near mint condition with has the 4 heads that aren't damaged at all. And I got a 1964 Beatles Flip Your Wig game coming in that has no corner splits and no wear to the cover. It's pretty impossible to find them in that near mint condition because they were never factory sealed in 1964. Only the little cards and the playing pieces, they were the only, that one little section of inside the box was sealed, but the outside of the box was not sealed. Rolling Stones, I have all 4. I have every Rolling Stones tour program from the United States coming from 1964, 65, 66, 69, and 72, the Exile tour. I have a Sgt. Pepper First Press United Kingdom stereo coming in excellent condition. And I got that Ultimate Rubber Soul Mono coming from the United Kingdom with -5 Hazel Yarwood cut coming in. So everybody's going to want that. And I have the 1970 Let It Be box set I'm hoping to get tomorrow. That's in excellent condition. The Beatles Let It Be box set. Somebody's already mentions they want that. And I have another Magical Mystery Tour 2 True Stereo from 1977 Germany coming. An Abbey Road. I have a 1969 Misaligned in near mint condition coming in of Abbey Road. And I have a 1973 France contract pressing, which I think is the best pressing ever of Abbey Road coming in. I got another Led Zeppelin turquoise coming, if you can imagine that. And I got a Led Zeppelin 1 USA version with the rare purple and brown labels coming in. That was a mistake. So you see I have a lot of stuff coming in.
Greg Field said the Black Album bootleg has all those Twickenham outtakes from Let It Be on vinyl. You'll love those CDs.
I had the, I know what you're saying. I had the Let It Be Black Album. I had the 5 LP set once that's real rare. And I think I sold it for $500.
He said it's 4 record set with the white album type poster, but it has all different snapshots. Looking for another Aladdin blue lunchbox with thermos. Let me know. Thanks.
Yeah, I have the thermos coming in, but the lunchbox in excellent condition is getting impossible to find because lunchbox collectors and Beatle collectors want it, and the price just keeps going up. The last one I had sold for, in C8 condition, sold for $1,800, but I sold 2 in near mint condition for $2,600 and $33,000. I sold one to Dean. A couple other things that sold for high prices lately. I talked about the First State Mono that sold from Perry Cox for $14,000. The record player, the Beatles record player that Perry Cox sold for $9,700. And the Paul McCartney, he sold the Eyes of the Storm 2023. He sold for $8,700. I got one up on my eBay store. I think it's for $6,500, number 55. And a sealed, if you can imagine this, a sealed mono rubber sole. I don't know if somebody this is a scam or not. It sold for $8,000. A sealed 1966 mono rubber sole from the United States. The Beatles and Frank Ifield, the portrait cover that's real rare. A stereo one sold for $7,400 a couple weeks ago. And Perry Cox sold the Savage Young Beatles 1964 with an orange cover in the in a store baggy shrink. He sold for $7,400. So those are all pretty amazing prices.
Greg Field said Magical Mystery Horseshoe coming or Apple?
The Apple's coming. It's made from the same plates. The Horseshoe went out in the mail a couple days ago that I had. Sold for I sold for $270, didn't I? Did it go to Nicole?
Okay.
All right, got some other things to show. We showed the Dylan, the White Album, the Nimbus Supercut, the Ram. You guys got anything else you want to see? Where are we at on time?
It's 11:21.
She's sitting in the Shea Stadium seat. Remember, this is $1,200. It's got the original metal.
I had to pick it up.
You don't have to pick it up. I showed it a couple times. They know what it's about. I got the paperwork to go in for it, and I have a professional FedEx box that I can ship it in.
Daniel Casilio said the sealed American records sell surprisingly high. Price of Panda and back?
Price of Panda. Who's interested in this?
Daniel Casilio.
I just got this today. I'll have to think about that. It's got some wear on it. It's got a little tear in it on the side, but it's original vintage like the Beatles had in 1964. It's not up for sale yet.
Dave Evans said, Frank, with you arrivals coming in, I'm down for many of these.
Yep. It's going to take time. Like I said, my son takes our packages to Gardner Lane, the main post office in Louisville. And he says they have like 20 docks at the side of the big post office, federal building, and almost all of them are full of trucks, either bringing stuff or taking it to the post offices, the local post office through Louisville. They're just so far behind, it's going to take some time.
Ain't that something that is a verbal agreement required?
What is?
Is a verbal agreement required?
For what? Verbal agreement.
I asked because you had a situation on the last live.
We're not even going to talk about it.
Don't know what that means.
They're talking because of the situation where Joan and Nicole thought the same thing. It happens like
the first person that I get the funds through my PayPal account, or the first person that sends me a message that they want something, and then I'll send you my PayPal account, will get the item. Is somebody interested in my Beatles White Album or something? You send me a message to Mr._Stickermania@yahoo.com. On the last one, was it the Magical Mystery Tour they both wanted at the same time? Or was it something else?
I think it was Magical Mystery.
Yeah, two of my regulars pretty much bought it at the same time.
This is the email, Jeff.
This is the email to get a hold of me. Mr. _ I'm an old man. It took me a while to figure out how to get to that underscore on my iPad, but I figured it out. Stickermania@yahoo.com. My granddaughter put a Midwest Princess sticker on there. Sorry about that.
But it looks cool.
Huh.
Ain't that something, Sam? Well, you have to do things the ethical way. Danny Goldson said, hi, Frank. Have you ever acquired and sold any of the 78 RPM Beatles singles from India?
No, there's two of them are on eBay right now. One of them's broken and one of them's not. But those 78 Beatle things go for a lot of money. I've never had one. This is an outtake from the Beatles Butcher cover. Looks a little different than the actual cover. Let's look at the difference of the two.
Thanks, Greg.
So you got original and you got the outtake. Looked like that was taken about a couple seconds before the other one. And you got them not airbrushed. You got looks like stains on John Lennon's coat and some false teeth on the ground. So they had to airbrush all those stains off their coats. The only thing they left was a little bit of something hanging off of John Lennon's smock. And Paul's got one right there of false teeth right there on his elbow. So that must be false teeth there too, but it looks like they airbrushed off all the stains that were on their smocks.
What the heck is a smock?
Butcher smock. You ever seen them?
Meat coats.
Meat coats. You ever seen people wear those?
Yeah,
I used to wear them.
I've never heard of smock as a name. Gordon Teets said, I saw the 78 RPM Beatles records on eBay. They are about $7,000.
$7,000.
Nicole said, I'll take the White Album top loader.
All right, we got a sale there. The White Album top loader is sold.
That's how it goes.
$400 shipped. I had like 3 people interested in this. John Hood was interested and a couple other ones. It is sold to Nicole. Thanks a lot, Nicole. Thanks for your continued support. You're not going to find these White Albums first press top loaders from the United Kingdom in this condition anymore. It's like the West Coast Butcher covers. You're not going to see near mint peeled West Coast Butcher covers anymore in the future. That's my opinion.
Greg Fio said, if you need another Pan Am bag for your friend, just let me know.
Daniel, did you hear that, Daniel? I can get you another Pan Am bag if you're interested in it. You're going to have to pay the shipping costs and stuff. You got to pay at least $100 or something to get this to you. All right.
Read the Daniel.
So, Daniel, I guess you're wanting this for $100 and I can get another one. Are you interested in that?
Daniel said, it's a shame those White Albums don't sound good.
Huh. Why? Because they're compressed too much? They don't have much bass on them? Is that what you're saying? The originals? All right. We talked about that. We talked about the fest for Beatle fans coming. Big thing. I retire in 2 weeks. Then I'm going to think about traveling. Me and Kevin from Kevin Records, we're talking about doing the spring show at Austin, Texas.
I want to go.
I don't know if that's 2 or 3 days. I thought we were going to drive, and then Kevin says that we'd fly, but I don't know how you can do a record show and fly, but I guess he just wants to go there and see what it's all about and not be a dealer.
Daniel Castillo said there are limitations of vinyl when too many songs are on the disc.
The White Album's got 33 songs, is that right? 30 songs?
That's probably what he's saying.
93 minutes on 2 records. As I remember.
Greg Fio said Paul used his Rickenbacker, not a Hofner, on the White Album.
Used his bass, Rickenbacker bass.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, his Hofner bass was only used there at the first couple albums, and he played that, and then he started using it again through the Get Back sessions there when they were at the basement of Abbey. Seville, 3 Seville Road, and where they had the Apple Studios. I think Finch, Abercrombie and Finch moved out of there. I think that I said that it's up for sale again. You got to pay about $12,000 rent to own the place the Beatles recorded. Let It Be, the Get Back sections.
Safest Sound Texas Audio Execution said, is McCartney Ram a UK OG?
Yes, it is. Is that Dave Bianco? Or is that a troll? Is that David?
Greg
I don't think that's David.
Greg Fio said the recent find of his 61 Cavern bass was the two first albums. The 63 is his main bass.
All right.
Bass bass.
Gregory Fia knows all about that. So that still cracks when you open it up. A laminated cover Ram, original 1971 issue from the United Kingdom with, pretty sure it's 1U. Let me check it. It's got an inner sleeve. It says patent made in Great Britain. That's the way they did the early 70s pressings. And it has a -1. It's not a 1U. Like my Ringo album that went out in the mail that was 1U, and it was a Doug Sachs TML pressing. We're getting towards the end here. I'll take a few more questions and then.
Safe Sound said yes. Danny Goldstein said I was at the O2 in London when he played that recovered bass. Greg Fio said agree, Daniel. A lot of tracks, lots of marijuana.
Lots of tracks, a lot of marijuana.
For the White Album.
Oh. Yeah, but you can't say the White Album isn't one of the best double albums of all time. What do you like? The 1978 pressing that Harry T. Moss recut? You like the 2014 mono pressing that was in the box set? What do you like? But this is such a historical piece to have the very first day issue that's a top loader. See, that opens from the top. They only tried that at the very beginning for like 6 months, and then they went to a side loader.
What the heck?
So when I started working in the grocery business when I was 14 years old, the White Album was sold at the register I was running register at. And I got a USA first press, but this is a UK. And that's the way the Beatles wanted it. But it is a stereo pressing. They wanted it in mono. That's where they spent the time.
Daniel Castillo said, well, the 2014 mono has the benefits of modern cutting. Greg Fio said, at the O2 night 2, no, Dan something quit. Daniel said, today's limitations are not the same. Kyla Foster said, Mr. Stickermania, hello, show us the Beatles photograph behind you.
Show us the Beatles photograph behind me.
On the table.
That one.
So we got a 1963 or 64 guitar string. Jeffrey Fio would like this. Six wire went around by Hofner. Sealed package. And we got a 1963 original souvenir photo from England of the Beatles with their collarless suits on. We got a whole collection of UK pressings. I have another set coming in tomorrow. Daniel bought the Ballad of John and Yoko. I got a whole collection. This is a Get Back with It's Not a Solid Center. And I have a Hey Jude first press. One in. And then I got a solid one of Something and a solid one of Get Back. But the collection I got coming tomorrow has all the solid centers and all the push-out centers. And it's got a first issue of Love Me Do and Please Please Me on the red label.
Greg wants another cost of the string.
Guitar string, Greg, is $100. Jesus.
For a string.
Johnny Ramone said Parlophone $45 ?
Parlophone $45.
That's what he said, ? Asking if you have one. Or something, I don't know.
I've had a Beatles box that you put your records in from England. I sold another one sold the other day, but it wasn't a Parlophone. These are all the whole collection of Parlophones United Kingdom first issues, all 23 singles. The way they released in the United Kingdom was sold in the UK on the middle of the label, and most of them are all one end cuts. All right, I think that's about an hour for us. I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll be back on Saturday. And let's hope we get some of my all these 50 things I got coming. We get some of them in, so I got some things to showcase.
Even some of the Beatles collection box like Greg got, I guess, is what he was talking.
Oh, I had a 78 that Greg bought one, and I sold the 2019 sealed to Patricia, I think.
Goodbye.
I lose track of things are coming and going, but I hope I have a lot of things to showcase for Saturday because we didn't get hardly anything in the last week. But that's what happens when you got snow and ice. So thanks a lot from Louisville, Kentucky. I hope you guys are recovering a little bit there. I know it's really bad there in LA. I went to California 4 times in the 1980s and the 1990s, and I'm sure if I went there now, I'd be freaked out. It's completely different.
Okay, have a nice.
I went into the Capitol Records tower there on Hollywood and Vine, and I got into the lobby. I saw some of the Beatles gold records on the wall, and they told me I had to leave. So I got in there to the lobby, but that's as far as I got. All right, see you there later from Louisville, Kentucky.
Have a nice night.